Hey there, my fellow music lovers. Thank you so much for coming by the channel, for hanging out, for subscribing, for leaving comments and giving feedback. And that's what this video is about. It's about you. It's about the comments that you have left on various videos. You know, you've taken the time out of your day to watch my videos, to leave comments, and I really do appreciate it. You know, whether you agree with me or not, you love me, you hate me, whatever. Thanks a lot. I thought it'd be fun to kind of go over some comments that people have left over the various videos that I've done over the past number of weeks. And I want to jump right in here to a user named Jazz Temple 2. And I recently did a video about Rush, where I talked a lot about how much they have meant to me in terms of their professionalism and their approach to their creativity and everything. And he found me from another channel. I had left a comment someplace else, and so he followed me back here. And he wrote, not only did I not know you, I really don't know Rush. And then he also says, glad to know you and them. I will check him out after this for sure. Dude, this is an absolutely wonderful comment on music, business, and some of the pluses and minuses of life. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a really nice compliment. And I'm so glad to hear that someone is going to go check out Rush as a result of what I talked about. And like I said, I didn't talk about the music at all. This was about Rush's professional attitude. I think they make the blueprint for how a band should operate in many, many ways. And I'm glad that somebody listened and is going to go check them out as a result. Also got a comment from Jimmy Mac about the Greta Van Fleet video that I just did. He had never heard about them. He says, I'll be honest, I never heard about this band until you mentioned them. Great to have music lovers like yourself keeping the community up to date. I really do appreciate that. He also mentioned a band called Kingdom Come, which was out in the mid to late 80s. They were often slagged off as being a Zeppelin band. When I was in college, we used to call them Kingdom Clone. They had like one hit that was on the radio, and I hadn't thought about them in a long, long time. I think their Greta Van Fleet just blows them away in every aspect. It's almost not even worth mentioning. So also I've done some videos about Fleetwood Mac, about how Lindsey Buckingham is no longer in the band, and I've got some mixed bag comments on that. Eddie says, Lindsey Buckingham is good, but I disagree. He does not make Fleetwood Mac. Then Richard Rust, in my opinion, Lindsey Buckingham is Fleetwood Mac, one of my favorite guitar players. And then we get Hector Gonzalez. He says, Rush Trader, you're a dumbass. The Peter Green lineup was legendary. They ruled the world while they existed. They were legends like the Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers. With Lindsey Buckingham, they became pop stars. Musically speaking, they were boring. Well, first of all, I don't remember Fleetwood Mac ruling the world when they had Peter Green. They were, for the most part, a British outfit. They didn't do much outside of Britain, and they were not on the same level as the Grateful Dead or the Allman Brothers in terms of success. When Lindsey Buckingham was in Fleetwood Mac, he was the reason why they got on the radio. He was the reason why they had success. He was the primary songwriter, and of course you had Stevie Nicks there and Christine McVie. But Buckingham kind of polished their songs. Nothing got past Lindsey. He is the reason why they are a household name, no questions about it. I do look forward to seeing what Neil Finn and Mike Campbell bring into this band. They're a completely different band now that you don't have Lindsey. So curious to see what happens. I just did a video about Finn. You can check that out. I also did a video about Steve Perry and what the heck is he up to. He was just at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Journey. He did not perform with them. There's been talk of a solo album that has never dropped, and he was just recently on American Idol. I got an interesting comment from Psycho Jack Jack. He says, my California source in the recording industry says that his CD is complete and mastered and will drop this year. When, I don't know, but I hear a deal has not been reached yet, but negotiations are happening now. The American Idol appearance is to get buzz going, hype, and publicity. Well, thank you, Psycho Jack Jack. You know, if that's true, then, you know, we should hear something by January of 2019. I think we can all agree on that. If we don't get anything, then I would say the Idol appearance was a wasted effort, and you have to question what's really going on with Steve Perry getting into his 70s now. But I think one thing we can all agree on, we would love to see Perry get out there and sing again. Also, I got a lot of feedback on my videos about Queen. It's no secret that I'm not a fan of Adam Lambert. Nothing against him personally. It's just that, you know, in the role of Freddie Mercury of Queen, it just does not work for me. I just did a video about Live Aid and how they had the best performance of that day. Some people say that it's one of the best performances in history, and that's because of Freddie. You know, if you had put Adam Lambert in Freddie's place at Live Aid, nobody would have been talking about him. They would have been talking about them the way they talk about Power Station, who I also talked about in that Live Aid where they didn't have Robert Palmer and they just flopped. You got to have Freddie if you're going to have a real exciting, dynamic experience. And I got a comment from Bored Nerd. He says, just curious to know, if you never gave Adam a chance, what makes you think he's that bad? And do you actually think the only people to care about Adam are American Idol fans? No, I'm sure that there's more people than just Idol fans that like Adam. But the thing is that you can't have the Stones without Jagger, and I don't think you can have Queen without Freddie. To me, there's just too big of a vacuum that Adam Lambert just does not fill. You know, maybe if you're a younger fan and you didn't know Freddie, and you just heard them on the radio, you can put up with it. But for me, I grew up with Freddie. He is the real deal, and you can't have Queen without Freddie. Without him, I just don't give a shit. I also did a video about bands who should call it quits because, you know, they're getting old. They're getting just kind of pathetic, but apparently rubbed some people the wrong way. Got a message from Justin Caldwell who says, this cracks me up. I love when people say others need to call it quits. Who are we to decide when someone has to stop making a living? I'll tell you who, me. And I say that because I'm a fan and I grew up with these bands and I know what they're capable of. And to see them getting old and pathetic, not being able to hit the notes or having really slow tempos or whatever the hell it is that they're not living up to, I, as a fan, don't like to see it. I think they should call it quits. Am I picketing their offices and going to their homes and telling them that they should quit? No, that's up to them. I'm just saying, as a fan, I'm not going to go see you. I think you're pathetic, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, I recently did a video about Van Halen that's gotten a lot of attention, a lot of feedback on this one, where I talked about why Sammy Hagar is probably getting crickets every time he tries to extend an olive branch over to the Van Halen camp. And I think it has to do with his book Red that he put out in 2011, where he went into a lot of details about Eddie Van Halen's private life around the time of his marriage crumbling and his alcohol issues, conversations that he had with Eddie, just a lot of private stuff that I don't think Eddie appreciates being out there, but some fans see it differently. Got a message from Bucketmouth, and he says, you're clearly so biased that you can't see straight. You keep repeating the same mantra about Sammy committing the unpardonable sin. Who hurt you, man? Why do you think there are things that are unforgivable? I started off being ticked at you, but I'm starting to feel sorry for you, and that may switch back. Well, you know what? I think there are things that are unforgivable. It's just going to vary person to person. Just look at how Eddie treats Michael Anthony, who's done nothing. He's said nothing. He's taken the total high road in all of this, and yet Eddie gives him shit. I think it's guilt by association. I think it's Sammy who he really harbors the most resentment for. So if he can't treat Michael Anthony great, then I think that pretty much explains why he's not treating Sammy great. And of course, his brother Alex, you know, Alex and Eddie are tight. They always have been and they always will be. He's just sticking up for Eddie. Also, I've done a number of videos about Yes. They are celebrating their 50th anniversary this summer. However, they are split up into two separate camps. One band without John Anderson and, of course, one with John Anderson. And this has rubbed some fans the wrong way. I got a message from Donut Cookie Pie. He says, anyone who does not support Yes currently is not a real Yes fan, at least not currently. You Anderson worshipers are mostly a very narrow-minded lot. And, you know, if you want to look at it like that, you can. But as far as I'm concerned, when Chris Squire passed away, that's when Yes really ceased to really be. I mean, you can't have a true Yes band without Chris. The best that we can do is kind of pick sides. You know, I go with the guy that sang on these songs. I mean, I don't know. I just like John Anderson's voice because those are the songs I grew up with. I can't tell you how many times I bought Yes CDs, DVDs, vinyl, Blu-rays, whatever they put out there, I bought them. I'm a true Yes fan. I just don't like to see them with anyone else, and I don't think there's any problem with that. And some of you guys are really funny, too. I get a comment from Alejandro Sosa. This guy looks like he's standing in the parking lot outside his psychiatrist's office. And then another one from WTF No. P.S. Did you just decide to muse about this Kiss tour in your driveway as you got out of your car? And then Rob Roy Fingerhead says, where do you record these videos? In your dentist's parking lot? And I would have to say to you, yes, because sometimes these videos are like pulling teeth. I got to make sure that I'm in the right place. I also got a message about my hair. Metal Guitar Solid says, I think you should call it quits on dyeing your hair. I quit dyeing mine. Let the silver flow, yo. Well, just so you know, I don't color my hair, and this is my real hair too. No hair pieces or nothing like that. I don't do that. I also did this video about Eddie Money and how he's got this reality show called Real Money, and how it must be just mind-numbing to follow this guy around with a camera. And of course, I get a video from Joseph Fuentes. He says, sorry, you are 100% wrong about Eddie Money. Eddie gives back his money and time to many charities and groups. Don't like, don't watch. Believe me, I won't be watching. And remember, I went to a concert of Eddie's a number of years ago, and at some point he said something like, make sure you go buy a t-shirt because I got to buy my baby a car. And now his daughter is in his band. As a matter of fact, all of his kids are in his band now. So, maybe he's going to save some money, doesn't have to pay a real professional band, and he can give more to charity. But you know what? Not everybody busts my balls on this channel. I got some really nice comments. This one from Christopher Weber. Outstanding. Your posts are enlightening and entertaining and newsworthy and informative. Thanks for all you do. Christopher, thank you very, very much for that. And I also got another one that says, Ant, thanks so much for your channel. I love music. I love to talk about music. I don't like all the silly bullshit on some of the other music channels. Seems like I have found a new home. Well, welcome, and thank you very, very much for that. And then we kind of drive it all home with a comment from Northern Light, and it says, this is not politics or religion. This is rock and roll, and it's supposed to be fun. Music is so subjective, and people just need to be respectful, and I could not agree more. Thanks for that comment, and thanks for all of your comments. This is fun. This is me talking about music. This is nothing serious here. This is just opinions, and everybody's got one, and we're all free to express it. I don't take things personally. I hope you don't. I know people tend to get worked up a lot about this stuff. But, like I said, this is just for music lovers. And so I want to thank you for coming by, for subscribing, for commenting, and the feedback and all that you do. And I'll be back with another video soon, all right? So I'll see you later.